Imagine walking into a store the size of a studio apartment and finding everything you need to survive the day: hot food, medicine, cash, a phone charger, fresh socks, and somehow, an incredibly decent cup of coffee. That is not a dream. That is just a Tuesday in Japan. Today we are diving into why Japanese convenience stores, known as konbini, feel less like corner shops and more like tiny survival hubs built for modern life. Let's start with the food, because honestly, it deserves its own documentary. When most people think of convenience store food, they think sad hot dogs rolling under a heat lamp and stale chips. Japanese konbini completely rewrite that story. We are talking freshly made onigiri with perfectly seasoned fillings, steaming bowls of oden simmered right there on the counter, bento boxes that would embarrass most sit-down restaurants, and pastries so good that people actually plan trips around them. The food is rotated constantly, quality is taken seriously, and nothing sits around long enough to feel forgotten. This is not an accident. Japanese convenience store chains invest heavily in food development teams and supplier relationships that most full-scale restaurants would envy. Now let's talk about services, because this is where konbini truly separate themselves from anything else in the world. You can pay your utility bills at a Japanese convenience store. You can print documents, send packages, buy concert tickets, handle government paperwork, pick up online orders, and in many locations, even get a notarized copy of your residence certificate. Some stores have ATMs that work with international cards when your own bank has failed you at 2 in the morning. Think about that. At 2 in the morning, in a city you barely know, a brightly lit konbini is open, staffed, stocked, and ready to solve almost any problem you walk in with. For travelers, expats, and locals alike, this is not convenience. This is infrastructure. The third thing that makes konbini feel like survival hubs is their role during emergencies. Japan is a country that takes disaster preparedness seriously, and konbini are officially woven into that system. After major earthquakes and typhoons, convenience stores have been among the first places to reopen, coordinating with local governments to distribute supplies. Many stores stock emergency goods year-round, including portable water, basic first aid items, and shelf-stable food. There is a reason people living in Japan often say that as long as a konbini is open, things are going to be okay. That feeling of security is real, and it is earned. Point 4 is the design philosophy, and this one is subtle but powerful. Every square inch of a Japanese convenience store is intentional. The layout is studied and tested. The lighting is warm but clear. The staff follow service protocols that are polite without being overwhelming. Even the way products are arranged on shelves follows psychological and logistical research. Nothing feels chaotic. Nothing feels like an afterthought. Walking into a konbini, even a tiny one tucked into a narrow Tokyo street, feels calm and organized in a way that a much larger Western supermarket often does not. That sense of calm is part of why people return so often. It is not just about buying things. It is about the experience of being there. Finally, let's talk about community. Konbini are neighborhood anchors. Elderly people stop in for their morning coffee and a chat. Students do homework at the counter seats. Night shift workers grab a hot meal at 3 in the morning without judgment. Tourists figure out their train passes. Locals pick up their dry cleaning. Everyone is welcome.